really nice. We're thrilled to welcome David into our family and Arnie, Marta, and Corey into our extended family. As I look at Frances in her wedding gown, I can't imagine a more beautiful bride. However, what I truly am thankful for is that Frances is a very beautiful person, and I'm very proud of her. As those of you who know Frances will agree, she's organized, hardworking, driven to succeed in her graduate work, but finds time to have strong friendships and to be compassionate and have close relationships with her family. I've always marveled at Frances's ability from an early age to relate to people many years older than herself. She has a very close relationship with my in-laws, Shirley and Sal Hirsch, and she has had a wonderful relationship. She had a wonderful relationship with my parents, Ed and Dorothy Scheller, who I am sure, Frances, are looking down on you now with pride in all the things you've accomplished and pride in the things that you and David are going to accomplish together. Frances was always a good student in high school, but she really blossomed in college and graduate school. At the University of Maryland, she majored in biology, graduated with honors, and co-authored an article with one of her professors, which was published in a scholarly journal. She also met David at college, and I was going to say more about that later, but of course the rabbi already scooped me, and you will know all about it already, but we'll get to it anyway. At UC Davis, Frances has continued her scientific studies in a PhD program in ecology, where she's been studying ways to prevent a bug called lygus from causing severe damage to cotton crops. If you look at Frances today, it's hard to believe that several of her past summers were spent in 100-degree weather in cotton and alfalfa fields, collecting samples of lygus. Frances wanted to determine if placing alfalfa fields at certain distances from the cotton fields could protect the cotton from damage caused by the lygus, while the lygus harmlessly ate the alfalfa instead. Just arranging the experiment was no mean feat. Frances had to arrange for the use of the fields, to schedule the crop duster planes to spray the fields, to organize her undergraduate students, and to drive a large truck 5 hours to the fields filled with the necessary equipment. Frances learned some important life lessons from arranging the experiments, not to mention the least of which was negotiating to get what she wanted when she needed it. I must admit that these new skills held Frances in good stead as she negotiated with Tina and me on certain aspects of this wonderful celebration. Who could have imagined all these academic achievements when Tina and I helped Frances move into her dorm room at the University of Maryland in August 2001? Who could have imagined that on that first day at college, Frances would meet David? As the story goes, David, always a gentleman, was trying to be helpful to those who were moving into their dorm. As luck would have it, Frances needed some help, and David was there to provide it. Sometime later, in their first year of college, after they lived through 9/11 and had a freak tornado on campus that resulted in several deaths, Frances brought David home to Baltimore to meet Tina and me. I don't have a clear recollection of much that went on at that first meeting. I don't think that David was introduced as a very serious boyfriend, just as a friend. We have one specific memento of that visit on our refrigerator. It's a photograph of Frances and a clean-shaven David, no beard, sitting on the back porch. The next time we met David, to my surprise, he had a beard. And I logically assumed that I had made a great impression on David and he had decided to grow a beard. It was not until a couple of years later that I found out that David was genetically predisposed to beard. If you've done the math correctly in your head, you know that Tina and I have known David for almost 8 years. In those years, we've had the opportunity to spend a number of weeks with David and Frances. We've spent summer vacations with them at Lewis, Delaware, with Tina's brother and sister and their families. David joined us when Tina, Frances, Henry, and I went to Israel in January 2008. Tina and I feel lucky to have had the opportunity to get to know David well before today. He's an athlete, a mathlete, a master cook, a music aficionado, but above all, he's a mensch, and we really mean it. We know that Francis and David come from similar family backgrounds and have similar value systems. Speaking of families, Tina and I also feel really lucky to have Marta, Arnie, and Corey become part of our family. They've stayed at our house and we've stayed at theirs. They've been our partners in planning the wedding and working on the wedding, and we've enjoyed the process more because we've been able to share it with them. We certainly want to thank them for all their hard work, which was considerable. The Sivikoff family got the seal of approval several years ago. We had planned on taking one of our typical summer family trips to a city that has a Major League Baseball team, go to a game and explore the city. New York was the city for that summer. Unfortunately, due to my mother's illness, Tina and I could not go. However, we had tickets to see the Yankees, and Francis and David wanted to go. The Sivikoffs offered to house them, and Henry and Francis stayed with the Sivikoffs. When Francis and Henry returned to Baltimore, we started digging for information about the trip. As some of you know, Henry is not always the most forthcoming person as far as providing detailed information. However, we were able to learn that David's brother Corey was really a nice guy. He also had a unique characteristic that not many other people we know have. He was born on exactly the same day as Henry, February 17, 1988. The final piece of information that we got from Henry was that the Sivikoff family was really fun. Ever since that time, we've been trying to prove to Henry that the Scheller family can also be fun. You know how hard that is. We're not sure that we've quite lived up to the high standards set in Wonton, New York, but we continue to try. In conclusion, I want to wish Francis and David good health, rewarding and fulfilling careers, and a very happy life together with mutual respect and much love.
I just flew here, my arms are kind of tired.
Unedited version.
No, that was great, Steve. Thank you. I'm not going to try to top that. I just wanted to welcome you all. Thank you very much again for all making the trips that you've made. We're thrilled to welcome the Schellers into our family. We're thrilled to welcome Frances into our family. She's been in our family already for years as far as we're concerned. And we're thrilled to share David with you. I just wanted to add this little note that music has always been an important part of David's daily life. And so I thought it fitting on this occasion to just quote a few words by an esteemed musical poet of our times as a toast to David and Francis. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars, climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. Congratulations.